So I'm sitting here having deep thoughts. I've had a really long, stressful, kind of horrible, shitty day. And I'm just sitting here, just kind of lost in my own thoughts. And something I'm thinking very much is something that's affecting the whole world at the moment. A lot of discussion is going around on it and everything. So just thinking around in my own head. And here is my advice to the world on top of parenting and transgender and drag queens, teaching children, education, parenting, as I said. So, this is the thought: parents are not, you have no control over your children. Parents have no control over their children. You're not supposed to have control over your children. Nobody has control over anybody else, and that's the way it should be. Parents' job is to guide and direct and show where the possibilities or paths may lead. And then from that, a child can go into the adventure of exploration, because a child's youngest, earliest years of development are its most important. You see, you have no control, because in order to have control, you must capture. In order to capture, you must confine. And in order to confine, you must imprison. And that's not how children can grow, mentally as well as worldly and culturally. Now, that said, I can understand on the flip side where drag queens kind of feel it is some drag queens kind of feel it's inappropriate for um, interacting with younger children, because they are initially adult entertainers. They are promoting promiscuity, sexuality, um, and many kind of other fetishes. But how can a child not be allured to the glam and glitz and glitter and sequins and feathers? How can they not be attracted to that? And the thing is, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It should be embraced carefully, with steady steps. Some things are left best unsaid or unshown, but overall, it just opens the imagination and inspires something within somebody to see that, to be exposed to that. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. But then again, I grew up with a gay father, and I was exposed to drag queens from a very young age. I have photos of me at the age of 6, 7 years old in cabaret shows. I'm 45 now, so that was a long time ago. And it has made me kind of maybe crave a little bit more than capable in my world and life. But it hasn't prevented my education or my imagination. And sometimes imagination can be more important than education. Some of the most wonderful things in the world have come from imagination. Education has helped it come to life, but the imagination was what sparked it to life. I have always believed that if I think it can be done, and I'm not a great educated person, I do not know mechanics and physics and angles and architecture or engineering or any of those kind of things, but I have a good imagination. And if I truly believe that something could come to be, then I don't understand how others say that it can't. And I'm not an unreasonable person. I'm fairly grounded. You can ask that of anybody who's met me. My doctors are probably the best ones because they seem to be quite astounded with how grounded and self aware I am of things and procedures and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I kind of feel sorry for the world. I kind of feel sad at the world that these arguments go on and people are so hostile in their arguments of it. Instead of promoting kindness and acceptance, they're demanding respect. They're demanding that you categorize them. I hate boxes. I hate check boxes. Don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a box. When I fill out forms, I'm not embarrassed of who I am or where I come from. I don't put myself down as a white person. I put myself down as a Mediterranean other. That's what I put down on my forms. Born and raised in this country, in England, but I have always put mixed other. Mediterranean, mixed other. White, mixed other. And I ain't got no problem with it because that's who I am. Other than that, I don't like boxes. And I don't like the boxes that people are creating for themselves. There are more and more boxes, which I just kind of think just confuses more and more people. It gives more and more people a loss of self-identity because they don't know which box to tick. Maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. Who knows? A lot of people are still learning who they are. I honestly believe it takes an entire lifetime to know who you are. Why do you keep defining yourself now? You're still exploring, you're still learning. Expose yourself to things. Well, I don't mean expose yourself to things, but yeah. Be curious, ask questions. Life is an adventure. And there are some wonderful things and treasures out there to find. Just leave them there for the next person. Right now, everything is just being destroyed and destruction and torn down and new things built up and books are getting shredded and, with all this discussion of changing books and getting rid of it, why don't we just build bonfires again? Start the Nazi war again? Why not? Kind of look like we're heading that way anyway, isn't it? Who do we hail this time? Hail Meghan? Hail Donald? Hail Amber? Who do we hail? Seeing as we're going to war with each other, can't you just accept each other for who they are? Rather than looking at them, work out what their intelligence is.